Your pain and your suffering is so much a part of your power. And once you recognize and realize this, it's not a punishment. It's not something that's happening to you. It's something that's happening for you. All of that rage, that anger is supposed to be transmuted and used to motivate you. Some people are motivated by gratitude. Some people are motivated by love and light. But most of us, unfortunately, are not, especially if the circumstances that have happened throughout your life are not all peachy keen. You're going to naturally have some of those lower emotions. And this idea that only higher frequency emotions like gratitude and authenticity can manifest your dream life is just not true. And you can totally use the lower vibrational frequencies as well to manifest. And that is something I feel this collective is realizing about themselves. You don't need to be almost toxically happy. Like, you don't have to shove any emotions down because, yeah, those emotions are what give you your purpose. They're, your anger and your rage is, if we think about Mars is the passion of both drive, motivation, action. And also on the other side, it's like rage, anger, war. So it's almost like you're realizing that your anger is almost an indicator of where you need to take action. Your rage and your fire and the things that really get under your skin is an indicator of where you need to be taking action. It's an indicator of where you need to be making changes. It's an indicator of where your impact is supposed to lie. And that's something you're really learning how to both transmute, transform, alchemize. And once you start to do this, I feel like that's when the real magic starts to take off because, yeah. So much of the New Age practices, the manifestation, is really just like appropriated religion, in my opinion. And once you can really start to work with the more animalistic emotions, the earthly realm, especially if you're trying to manifest something into the physical world, you have to work with lower vibrational things because lower vibration is physical and higher vibration is less solid. So, like, hello. Anyways, let's see if we can get some cards. Ooh, okay. Okay, so we have both, and this is interesting because, okay, it feels like you've been going backwards, and that's what's got you so angry. It feels like, it's two steps forward, five steps backward, and that's what has you so frustrated because it's like, I got so far, but none of that really matters if I'm back to where I started. And there's this energy of being back to where you started. But there's something about being back at the start that's going to teach you something. And then it's almost like you're not going to have to do all of that again. I'm seeing like a foot race where, for whatever reason, you had to turn around and go back to the starting point. And it's like someone's going to come and pick you up on a golf cart and just take you to the end. So we do have 9 of Wands, and then we have 6 of Wands coming after it. So yeah, like this heaviness, this final fight, it's like the final countdown, something about a final battle, the last battle before the war is over, and then the victory coming in. But it feels like you're feeling very defeated right now. You're feeling like none of your hard work has paid off. It's all been for nothing, is kind of what it seems like. That's like the sort of feeling I'm picking up on. And I think you can recognize within yourself how you've changed. Like, that you are the result of the hard work you've put in. Maybe you don't have the physical things to prove that you went through something. You don't have anything that you can show the world that's like, this is what I experienced and this is what I got out of it. But who you are, the peace and the strength that you carry is that physical proof. Yes. We have Judgment. This card keeps coming up for this collective. And the Judgment, I don't know about sports, I don't know about running a marathon, but I almost see the Judgment as like that person at the finish line who's going to blow the whistle and announce that you were the person to cross. And maybe it was like a close call, like there were other people that were almost competing with you or trying to steal your blessing or try to, like, they were inspired by you in your fight, but this inspiration kind of took a nasty turn because they wanted to take it from you then. It wasn't just that they, like, oh, they're doing this thing, they're being brave, they're being courageous, let me be brave and courageous in my own way. They tried to do it exactly how you did it, and they started to want the exact same things that you had, and almost like a sense of envy or wanting it for themselves instead of creating something of their own. And I see like this close call is like, maybe you really felt like they were going to cross the finish line before you, but there's going to be someone blowing a whistle and pronouncing your name to the world. And maybe there is a little bit of something like public recognition here, or going viral, or just being publicly recognized, like your name being the one that's being announced as the winner, you know, with this Six of Swords. I mean, six of Swords, interesting. Maybe there's something you're having to leave behind too. Yeah, it's interesting because it feels like the energy I was picking up on in the beginning was kind of like rock bottom. Like you feel like you're back to where you started, or almost even worse than where you started. It feels like rock bottom. And so I don't know why this new reality is making you feel like you're leaving something behind, because it's almost like you coming back to the start was supposed to show you that there's nothing left here for you. But there's still a part of you that's holding on to hope, maybe, for the situation, and still not ready to fully let go, even though you're telling yourself, like, I hate where I am right now, like, I want things to change, I want things to be different. There's some part of you that's still, like, clinging to it or holding out hope that things will change, even though you know that they're not going to. The only thing that can possibly change is you, and you can make better choices for yourself moving forward, but the other people that are involved and the reality of the situation is not going to change. You're supposed to change and move out of that reality for yourself. And there is a big like feeling of realizing your own worth and what you're worthy of and what you're deserving of, and knowing that you're not worthy and deserving of the situations and circumstances that are happening currently. So it's almost a choice you have to make for yourself. Yes. Okay, we have Queen of Pentacles. This feels like providing for your own needs, making sure your needs are met, making sure your wants even are satisfied. And there's something about the Queen of Pentacles to me that feels like there's no shame. Like she's completely grounded. She knows who she is. She's present. She's comfortable in her own skin. And she doesn't second guess herself. She moves slow and steady. You know, maybe you move at a slower pace, but she knows who she is, and she knows that she's like that feeling of worthiness I was picking up on. She never questions her worth or what she's made for. Like she knows what she was put on this earth to do, and she sits comfortably within that. She doesn't. Yeah, it's also maybe you're the type of person that you feel like you know what your calling is or your purpose is, or you know what you're meant to be, you know what those action steps are, but you're still doubting whether it's really meant for you. You don't know what you're made for. And that's kind of disappointing because you've been through a lot, so you should be able to see your own strength and courage. You should, like, everything that you've been through up until this point should have proved to you who you were. But for some reason, even though you've had physical proof of how strong you are and courageous, you're still doubting it for some reason. And I also see that you've had like a lot of physical proof of your intuition, like you know where your spirit is guiding you. There's some sort of truth to it, but you're still doubting it for some reason. And that's why you can't fully ground into the present moment. You can't really sit within yourself and become embodied in who you are and what you're trying to do, because there's a big feeling of doubt here still. And this, I feel like I've picked up on it in a lot of my recent channels, is, yeah, just a feeling of self-doubt. I wonder if we can get some cards about where this self-doubt is coming from. They don't want to come out. It's almost like, okay, this self-doubt is it's without a cause. It's without a reason. It's almost like just such a part of who you are that, yeah, there's like, it's not the effect of something and it's not the cause. So I'm like, cause and effect. The self-doubt doesn't have a typical chain reaction. It's something you've almost identified yourself with. Like, this is just who you are. There's not really an answer for it. There's not a source of the problem. It's just, and maybe it's because, and we do have the Star and Temperance coming out. And so I'm hearing maybe this is a way you try to reel yourself in. Like, the things that you want, like the Star is a unique, like a very special person. And you're put on this earth to do a very special thing. And you have a very special duty. And the self-doubt is almost something to temper yourself, to rein yourself in. And it's almost like you don't want to get carried away with the truth of who you are. Like, and maybe there's something here about you believing you're a good person because you're not cocky, you're very humble. But this humility is actually a way I'm seeing the Eight of Swords, it's a way you're binding yourself or putting yourself inside of a cage. And it's because you just are really scared of, if you were fully yourself and fully embodied and you believed in yourself, you're scared of how big you could become, which is almost like a fear of success. And it's also, and I am picking up on like maybe religious trauma, but something about like, and I picked this up in the last channel about what your success will say about you or mean about you, and feeling like almost to be successful means you have to be a bad person. And there's I've been picking up on flamboyancy, like who this star quality that you have is very big and flamboyant, and flamboyant people naturally trigger people who are not, because we're scared of the things which are different from us. So yeah, you're trying to temper yourself, hold yourself back from the star that you are, and you're telling yourself that it makes you a good person. Like, it's something that almost is coming from your ego, because it's making you feel like, oh, look at how much I care about the people around me, I don't want them to be uncomfortable by me. But it's all just really excuses. It's really just, and it's also ego, because you like what it means about you if you're not, like, it's really weird how you've painted it. You've made it seem like this makes you a good person or a better person, because yeah, it's this self-doubt is a way that it's also, this is like a hyper logical collective, which I mean, I love that. Keep your skepticism, it keeps you safe, but you're using this self-doubt as a way to like keep your, okay, maybe in the past you're the type of person who got your hopes up so much about things, and then when they didn't work out, you would like crash. I almost see like it would send you into this fit of depression, or and maybe Anna Green Gables is significant to you because I'm hearing like depths of despair, because you would let yourself see the star quality and then it wouldn't work out how you expected it to, or it wouldn't happen out in the time frame that you had set within your mind, and you're like, it was like soul crushing when your hopes didn't come true. And the thing is you didn't even give them the chance to come true. Like, you because you put so many parameters, you were kind of closed-minded about how this could come in. You put really strict parameters on how it can come in. And if you're a manifestation girly, you know the how is none of your like, it's none of your business, not something that you need to concern yourself with or worry about. And so you put these parameters on it, so there was it's almost like self-sabotage. There's no way your dreams could come true because you made it, which, like, there is some power in being unrealistic because reality is bendable anyways. But yeah, it didn't work. So now you're protecting yourself. The self-doubt is a way to protect yourself or bring you back down to the earth, because how you would dream before, who you were as a dreamer before, was almost like self-harm to yourself. It was like a toxic cycle of dreaming and getting your hopes up and then setting strict parameters and then crashing, and then yes. So now the self-doubt is a way to try to protect yourself from that. But it's really coming out as self-sabotage, because you're still meant to be a dreamer. You're just supposed to allow the universe to help you and not to be so strict about how it comes in, and also to think bigger when you think about it, because when you set a bunch of parameters on it, it actually shows how small minded you're being, which you're not meant to be small. You're meant to be very, very big. Okay, let's see. The Emperor. Why is he coming out for you? Okay, yes. So the self-doubt was because the Emperor, because he has such a huge empire and kingdom to protect, sometimes he has to make harsh or cold decisions in order to protect his people. And that's the self-doubt, is this protection mechanism to try and keep the kingdom of yourself safe. But the problem with the Emperor is, especially the more he has to do these things, make these tough calls and tough decisions, the colder and more calloused he becomes, and the more his dreams or hope for changing or using his emperorship, the more his hopes and dreams of using that to good fade. And that's what I see happening with you. Like, your hopes for the impact you could have begun to fade the more you use this self-doubt to protect yourself. So that's, I mean, the big theme of this message is you have to realize that self-doubt is not helping you in any way, shape, or form. It's actually harming you. And maybe if you can make that click in your brain and realize that, then you'll be able to relinquish some of that strictness that you have within your own mind. Because your mind is some of your most powerful magic. You can't, yes, Ace of Swords. So a renewing of your mind and realizing that there's a new way you can dream. A new way to dream. And a way you can, there's ways you can protect your heart and keep yourself safe. But it doesn't have to be in a way that closes you off or like binds you. And I think a lot of that is learning how to work with your spirit team and knowing that it's not just you against the world. You have very powerful beings and deities who want to help you, and you don't have to do everything on your own. And this doesn't just have to be with your spirit team. This can be with physical people within your life. There's physical people who want to come in and help you. You just have to see that it's not just you trying to make this happen. There's other people in the peripheral, in the perimeter, on the scene that you haven't even noticed because you've become so strict within your own mind. Okay, let's see what those cards are. I need a drink of water as well. Okay. By the way, wow, maybe throat chakra things. If this is your first time that the YouTube algorithm has brought you to me, welcome to my channel. I'm AvaAlanna. I'm a spiritual consultant and advisor, and I help people overcome problems that they're facing reaching their dreams, and especially things that they've tried to problem solve on their own, and they just need a little divination and spiritual insight to break the pattern or break the block. So if that interests you, check out the link in the description box. It's stan.store/AvaAlanna. And if this resonates with you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's see what those cards are on the ground. Okay, so we have Two of Swords and King of Wands. And I actually believe that's why I'm getting this feeling in my throat all of a sudden. It's because this swords is air, and air also has to do with your communication. And with these swords, it's like not wanting yourself to speak, or even like covering your mouth in a way. Oh, and then King of Wands. There is some sort of project or leadership calling that you're having. But at this time, the universe is asking you not to speak about it. And I've gotten this a lot. There's a lot of making moves in silence happening right now. You have to protect this vision that you've been given. I'm also picking up on Sagittarius energy, so maybe you have Sagittarius placements. Or maybe something will happen during Sagittarius season, so December to January. Is that right? No, sorry. November to December. Yes. Anyway, Sagittarius season might be significant for this. But yeah, there's something like, shh, you need to be quiet about this. This is not something that everyone needs to know about. And you do have 10 of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. So creating some sort of legacy. There's that 6 of Swords that I had the Freudian slip of earlier. Yeah, leaving something behind so that you can have more stability in your life. Let's see, I feel like we need one more card. There she is. 4 of Wands. You need to just say yes to everything you're hearing in this message. You need to say yes to opening yourself up, to letting go of self-sabotage, letting go of self-doubt. And you know the desire to keep yourself and your heart safe. The 2 of Swords we saw, like the being quiet, that's how you can protect yourself at this time. Be careful who you speak to, because not everyone has your best interests at heart. But open up to the idea of you being a star. Like this saying yes is almost saying yes to your stardom, saying yes to your fame and glory. And that's the Lana Del Rey song, Money, Power, and Glory, has been coming up for me personally because I love how unashamed she is in that song, stating what she wants, even if it's desires that maybe would be seen as not, like, maybe taboo desires to have. But I see glory. You need to open up to being glorified at this time. Yes. That's all I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful day. Again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I wish you all the best.